The Season 5 Reloaded update just dropped, so I got y'all with the new top 5 best rank play classes that you should be using to climb the ranks. With the first gun being an honorable mention, we got the MTZ556. The MCW is a little bit better, but this one is very good if you're trying to play very aggressive on the map. It has a very fast time to kill. With this class, you don't really have that much recoil, and so you can really take advantage of how light this gun feels. So this gun bounces left to right a ton, so I got the Cbass break on there. There are a few other options. I know Lunchtime runs the Purger break, but I don't know why he would rock this one if it lowers your damage range, when the Cbass break literally does the same thing, but your ADS speed is just a little bit slower, but you're not losing any range, and the range is very important on this gun, especially because it doesn't have that much range. The compensated flash hider is also a very good one. I see a lot of people rocking this. For me though, I really like the Cbass break. For the barrel, we got the MTZ Clinch Pro barrel just to maximize that range while also having a little bit of a better mobility. If we had the Drifter heavy, the gun's gonna feel a little bit heavy, and I just don't really like it. If you're not that good at the game, this will be a little bit easier to use, but for me, I do a lot better with the Clinch Pro. For the underbarrel, I got the DR6 hand stop. I know some people add like recoil control and things, but once you're used to it, you don't really need the recoil control, and you can really take advantage of the mobility and the handling, which is where this AR shines. It's a very light gun to be running around the map with. For the stock, the Marauder stock is going to be 100% the best stock. This is just going to add that gun kick control and the recoil control, furthermore reducing the shake on the gun without really hurting the gun that much. And then the iron sights really aren't that good in my opinion, so I got the MK3 reflector on there. But if you like the iron sights, you can go over to the rear grip, and then you can add maybe the Bruin TR24 assault grip, which isn't going to really have any cons, but it's going to make the gun a little bit easier. For me though, I really like to have an optic. Now for the secondaries in the perks, a lot of people look over these things, and so this is going to be the best Renetti in the game. I really like the short barrel because it allows me to move around the map so much faster. It allows me to get the timings, get to a certain position faster than the enemies, but the long barrel does have a little bit more range, and you're going to get more bow velocity, so then the hit registration is going to be better. So if you're on like a high ping, you might want to run the long barrel just for that reason. Overall though, I really like the short, and keep in mind there is a little bit of recoil on the gun, but with practice you should be able to take advantage of all the benefits of the mobility that you get. So for the tactical, I usually always run the stun on Search and Destroy. I do have the same class but duplicated, and it just has a smoke on there. And then I usually like the sticky grenades if I'm playing respawn. In Search and Destroy, I will add the frag grenade so I can get those cross map nades. Field upgrade, I always run the trophy system. The dead silence really isn't needed. For the boots, okay, you can really get away with having the lightweight boots, like if you can move around the map in a certain way. The lightweight boots are very beneficial. A lot of very good players rock them. But the covert sneakers is going to be like the general favorite because no one can hear any of your footsteps, allowing you to get the flanks a little bit easier. Marksman gloves are very good, but the quick grip gloves are also very underrated. It's going to allow you to throw your trophy system, throw your equipment way faster, which is absolutely game changing. The reason the marksman though I like on the ARs is because you get a lot of flinch resistance, making the gun a little bit easier to use. Your screen isn't going to shake as much, but if you are very good, try out the quick grip gloves. And then for the gear, I usually always run the EOD in Search and Destroy, and then in respawn I'll have the tac mask just because I don't really get naded that much, but I get stunned all the time, and so definitely try out the tac mask. So for the first gun on the list, we are going to be using the MCW, same class as before. This is the pro build. You want to have the L4R. This is going to give you the most amount of recoil control without having that many cons. The compensated flash hider seems like it reduces the recoil more, but you are losing a little bit of your bullet velocity, so you're going to have a little bit worse hit registration on the game. And when you're playing ranked, it's kind of beneficial to have a very good hit registration, especially when you're playing in like the iridescent ranked lobbies. And then for the barrel, you want to have the Cyclone long barrel just to maximize the range and that bow velocity for the same reasons as that muzzle. Yes, we are losing a little bit of our handling and the mobility, but it's so much more worthwhile to run the Cyclone. And there's some other ones that increase the range more, so you might want to add these ones, but it's literally the bow velocity. If you don't have the same bow velocity as like, you know, the meta MCW pro build, the gun just feels a little bit off, and I get like weird ghost bullets. For the underbarrel, I do have the DR6 hand stop, allowing me to move around the map faster, bring up my gun after sprinting a little bit faster. And then if you aren't that good at the game, you can run the Phantom 5, gives you some recoil control in there. For the optic, I got the MK3 reflector. I don't think the iron sights are that good, but if you like the iron sights, you can take advantage of maybe the Warforge or the Precision Heavy. These don't really seem to reduce the recoil, but they actually reduce the recoil a lot. It just makes the gun a little bit slower, so that's why I like the optic as well. Then for the rear grip, you always want to run the RB Claw. This is going to do basically the most for the recoil control, since you get fire aim and stability. Now you got that gun kick control, the fire aim and stability, and just base recoil control, making this the best MCW in the game. Now for the next gun, we are going to be using the Rival. The Rival, a lot of pro players rock the Purifier muzzle, and I think that's because this is GA. They all agreed to not run the compensated because it's just overpowered. We are losing bow velocity, so it's kind of contradicting the stuff I was saying before, but if we use the meta one, we're losing 8%, so you actually have a better hit registration with the Zem compensated, and it seems like you have less recoil on the gun. You are losing a little bit of your ADS speed, but it shouldn't really impact you that much. If it does, then you can run the purifier, but I would rather have better hit registration. Then for the barrel, we got the clear shot barrel. Again, maximize the hit registration, maximize the range. There really isn't that much range on the gun. You also do get some more recoil control, making the gun easy to use. We are losing a lot of our mobility and the handling, but that's why we got the DR6 hand stop on there to mitigate those cons. Again, if you aren't that good, you could run the Phantom 5 hand stop. Then for the stock on here, this is going to be the best one. Don't use any other one. The Marauder stock is definitely the best one because you get the gun kick control and the firing aim stability. You also get a lot of aiming idle stability, so then your iron sights aren't going to sway as much before you start to fire, making it easy to hit the first shot. When you hit the first shot on the enemy, you're more bound to hit the rest of the shots. Therefore, you get that very fast time to kill, which is why we got the Rival Vice assault grip on there. Gives you that firing aim stability, furthermore reducing the overall shake on the gun. We are losing aiming idle sway, so I guess it cancels out the stock. That's another reason to run the stock, is because then you'll have a little bit less aiming idle sway. This is the best rival in the game. Now, so remember, I always have a rival S&D, a regular rival MCW S&D, and a regular MCW. They all have a smoke on there. I don't always run a smoke and search and destroy, but it is pretty beneficial at times. And then if I don't want to rock it, I can just swap over to the respawn class. One thing with the rival, since I'm playing so aggressive with it, I just like the lightweight boots. Allows me to get the timings and just get from point A to point B a little bit quicker, and actually saves the team a lot. Tac mask again, unless I'm just getting naded a bunch, then I got the EOD. And then for the gloves, I got the quick grip, so that I can just play more aggressive. I can throw everything faster, swap weapons faster. Very beneficial on the SMGs, but the marksman gloves are also pretty overpowered. It's just if you get your timings correctly on the game, you don't really get into too many gunfights. You're kind of killing the enemies from the side a lot of the time, and if you're good at not getting shot at, the quick grip gloves really shine. But if you always get shot at in your gunfights and you barely win the gunfights, probably want to run the marksman gloves on there. And then for the next gun, the last gun, we got the Striker 9. The Striker 9 is actually so overpowered. I think it's better than the rival. Like, it's like a pocket AR, so I really like this gun. Whenever I bust it out, I always do very well, like better than I would ever do with the rival. And so for the muzzle, we got the Zem compensated flash hider on there. Again, the purifier is going to lower your overall damage range and the bullet velocity, so compensated flash hider gives you recoil control without hurting that. And then to bring that the values of the range up, we got the Striker long barrel on there, losing more of our sprint to fire speed, but it's still going to be faster than the rival, and so that's not going to really matter too much. You can just notice how the weapon's a lot more responsive and a lot stronger. Then for the underbarrel, we do got the F-Tech MSP 98 hand stop, just to get a little bit more recoil control. Sometimes I will add the DR6 or the Phantom 5. The DR6 is going to be the best if you want to have, you know, the fastest mobility. Actually, I take that back. Sorry to make things confusing. The XRK would be better. Since you already have a faster sprint to fire speed than the rival, we don't need to increase the values anymore, so you can actually get away with the XRK, allowing you to move around the map faster. And so the XRK is good if you want to play very aggressive. If you want more recoil control, run the F-Tech MSP. Then for the stock, previously I would add the assault stock, but I found that the tactical stock was just a little bit better because you can sprint faster and you can tactical sprint faster. So if you pair it up with that underbarrel, you can just move faster, your ADS strafe speeds faster, and then now your sprint and tactical sprint speeds faster. This one sometimes seems like there's a little bit less recoil because you get the firing aim stability and the gun kick control, but once you're used to the priority, you should be perfectly fine. That's another reason we got the shotgun on here, just to add that recoil control without really hurting the weapon at all. Some players do like to run an optic on there, so I do recommend taking off the rear grip to then add an optic. If the gun's difficult to use, then I would swap out this stock for the assault stock, and that's if you want to run an optic. Overall though, this is my favorite Striker 9 class, and that should wrap it up for this video. You guys can see all the perks and stuff I run on here, and so if you guys did enjoy, hit the like button. If you want to see more of my videos, hit the subscribe button with the noties on, and deuces.